Hello, today we're going to be trying to stop brake squealing on my road bike. This road bike was given to me very kindly by a best friend who has left the country, and so it holds a lot of sentimental value as well as meaning. However, recently this bike has been acting very strangely. There have been punctures and as well as brake fades. The reason why you generally have punctures as well as brake fades is because of either carelessness, dirtiness, or being a general asshole around your bicycle. Now these characteristics usually apply to people that's name starts with Roll and ends with Han. Now replacing a punctured tube is generally quite simple. It just involves ordering a tube from online and replacing it yourself. It's not really a big issue. But replacing the brake pads or maybe servicing the brakes is a very difficult thing to do if you do not have the correct tools or the correct equipment, because there are very minute parts, very small parts that you have to look out for. If not handled properly, may lead to adverse effects. So today I'm going to try and figure out what I have to do to my brakes to get it to stop squealing. And the thing is, I have zero knowledge on the engineering of bikes or the engineering of brakes. I'm going to try my best to stop it from crying. Now, to remove the tire and work on the brakes, we're going to need a few tools. The most important ones are a set of screwdrivers or pliers that you can use to lift up the brake pads from inside. If your brake pads are magnetic, if you know that they're magnetic, you can easily remove them with the screwdriver itself. And you're also going to need some kind of hex screw, the correct nut size so that you can remove the screws effectively. And of course you need a wrench if you don't have a quick release for your tire. Okay, one of the more important things that you're going to be needing is isopropyl alcohol. This stuff is available in your local drugstores, Guardian, Watson, whatever. I just bought this from Guardian about 2 minutes ago. The Guardian cashier was very pretty, and I told her that she was very pretty, and she smiled. I smiled. I think I made her day. It made my day. We're moving away from the point, but yes, you're going to be needing this so that you can clean the brake pads thoroughly and so that they won't squeak afterwards. Now viewers, unfortunately, I won't be able to take you through an entire process from the start of how I replace the brake pads because I've already taken out one wheel. I've done that so I can get a sense of what I'm working with. If not, this episode would have been too long. But I will show you how to remove the brake pads on the other wheel. Now, once you've taken out the wheel, this is what you will see. This is the brake pads. Inside there are where the brake pads rest. Either they're held by magnets or what is known as a spring lock. Mine, of course, are held by magnets, and I was easily able to take them out just by using a screwdriver and prying them out. Now, if you are somehow unable to take out your brake pads, it's most likely because this nut here is too far inside. What this nut controls is the distance between the brake pads. If this nut is too far inside, there will not be enough distance between the brake pads so that you can easily remove the brake pad. What you have to do is loosen this thing. Oh shit. And then you will find enough space to remove the brake pads through this slot. Now I have removed the brake pads, and these are my brake pads. They are circular in shape. They come in all different sizes and shapes. Underneath here, I have 80 grit sandpaper. Now, you can notice that there is some oxidation going on the brake pads. I'm not entirely sure what material they're made of, but the black parts, the darker areas, they are oxidized. Now, it's fine to leave them partially oxidized, but I'm going to give them one last rub on the sandpaper, and then I'll put them back inside the brake pads. What I just did is to get rid of contamination. Generally on the brake pads, oil or different types of fluid just spill onto the brake pads and it contaminates the entire layer of the brake pad, and you would want to remove the top layer to expose a new coating of the brake pad and to ensure that you're getting maximum amount of friction between the brake disc and the brake pad. Now, the next thing you want to do is get some nice clean cloth, your isopropyl alcohol, and give your brake discs a nice scrub. Get all of the contaminants out of the brake disc. What I recommend is using a piece of pliers, what do you call this, prongs, and rub them down with isopropyl alcohol as well, and use them to pick up your brake discs and do whatever you need to do with them. Right, now the remaining last step is to attach it back into its housing. The first thing you're going to want to do is get your hex screw and loosen the outer part so that you have as much room inside as possible. Usually, the side of the brake pad that's touching this side is slightly thinner than the brake pad that's on the other side. So be careful and do not mess up which brake pads go on which side. So this brake pad is actually the thicker one, and this goes on my right side. I'm gonna try and just plonk it in, and it should snap. It did. Camera. Is it in? Yes. Success. Okay. There we go. Now I am a dumbass for not cleaning my brake disc before I put the tire back on. But as I was checking my brake disc, right, I realized something. Take a look at this. This is what the entire braking system is. Now, if I spin this wheel really quickly, what you're going to notice is that there is a wave within the brake pad. Now this is because the brake pad is, of course, bent. And what this leads to is more shrieking and more inconsistencies within the heat dissipation within the brake pads. This piece of screw right here, notice how it's a little bit bent compared to the other screws. This screw is perfectly flat, but this has a slight raise to it, and this leads me to believe that this hasn't been screwed in very well. So I finished screwing it in, and I've done such a good job that I can't realize which is the screw that I screwed in. And if we take a look at the alignment, it's almost straight. Well, to clean the brake disc, simply get your isopropyl alcohol, a clean cloth, and just rub it in. Okay, I have fit the tire, and I'm going to move on to the front tire now. I'm going to time lapse the whole thing, and then after everything is done, we can take the bike downstairs and test the brakes. Let's go. Step 1. Remove the tire. Step 2. Remove the brake pads either using a screwdriver to remove them magnetically, or use a pliers to remove the spring lock that will release your brake pads. Step 3. Clean the brake pads with isopropyl alcohol. Step 4. Sand them down with your sandpaper. Step 5. Clean with isopropyl alcohol again. Step 6. Place the brake pads back into their place. And Step 7. Put the wheel back. Get your dad to help you because 3 hands are always better than 2. And now let's take the bike down for a test. Remember lads, safety first. Okay ladies and gentle ladies, now we're going to go to the park where I'm going to have a cycling match.
Why not? I challenge you to cycling match.
Cycling match.
You can see me how fast and I be better than you are. Even better than you are.
So I can show them who is faster. I just installed these sick ass red color lights. That's what they look like. I took a long exposure shot of my bicycle. Here it is. Pretty sick, eh? Okay guys, now I'm gonna try and speed up to about 30 kph, and then I'll jam the brakes, and then we'll see how far this thing takes to slow down. And now, holding it as hard as I can.
He's got brake fade.
I have brake fit. Oh shit. So I had to come to the grass to stop because my brakes were fading. Pulling them is satisfying. They do give me some level of traction, but I think the only problem now is that I have to use the brakes more often to sort of get the first layer of the brake pads used to the new kind of friction I have no idea what the science is, but All I know is I have to use the brakes more and get them used to my style of riding. Shit. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to say today was a complete failure. We've had some successes. We've replaced the brakes, we did some maintenance work, and generally I'm quite pleased with the performance of this bicycle right now. Anyway, thank you for joining me on this pointless episode. I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Whoa, shit!